are my thoughts. My thoughts. Good afternoon. It's my lunch break, and I just want to share some economics with you. And this is the ripple effect of war on the rest of the world. When Russia cut off its oil supply to Europe in August of 2022, some people were in denial as to the effect that that would have on the rest of the world. Of course, economics experts and people who teach economics were quite aware of what was to come. So, of course, most of the supply of oil, gas, crude oil, and everything to the UK, not to the UK, to Europe was at first mainly through Russia. So, because of the war, some things that happened, etc., Russia decided to actually cut off the supply to Europe. Now, in doing this, little did Russia know and did the rest of the world know that, of course, this would have consequences on both Russia and, of course, the rest of the world as well. And I'm going to tell you how the ripple effect came about. Okay, so if you remember when Russia restricted and ultimately totally cut off its supply, what do you remember happened? Petrol, the UK run out of petrol. Well, not completely, but of course there was a scarcity of petrol. Now, when it comes on to demand and supply, we know that whenever there is a scarcity of supply, then of course prices will go up. So, of course, demand is affected by supply. So when the supply was scarce, the prices actually went up. So you probably will say, okay, if Russia had cut off all its supply to the Europe, where did they get their supply? What I said was that Russia was the main source of supply. But you actually have other places that actually supply gas, crude oil, and all the rest. And these are the places you have: the United States, Norway, Saudi Arabia, the United Kingdom, as well Nigeria, and there is a little place called Kazakhstan, which is a Central Asian country and a former Soviet republic. Okay, so what happened? When Russia restricted its supply, everybody was forced to actually look for alternative supply. There was a period, of course, everybody went through it, petrol prices went through the roof. As a result of that, what do you think happens? People have learned to actually do without getting their supply from Russia. So what will happen? When Russia is ready, when the war is over, then of course what Russia is going to find is that because people have now sought their supply elsewhere, they are going to see a reduction in demand from that country. That is going to affect Russia, no doubt. But going back to the ripple effect, okay, so when prices went up, petrol went up, what do you know? The lorries, the cost of transporting goods because of globalization, where you know that our goods are from different parts of the world, the lorries that actually transport the goods within Europe had to actually charge more as well. When the lorries charge more, of course, what will happen when the goods get to the supermarket, then it is going to cost more. The increase in price that the supermarket owners have to pay is ultimately passed on to the customer. When the customer has to pay more, that is when you see that they start demanding more in terms of salary. Now, when workers start demanding more in terms of salary, then employers are affected as well, because employers then are forced to actually come up with more money to pay workers. And if you notice nowadays, what is happening is that you have a lot of industrial actions going on. And that is because of inflation. So if people are spending more in the supermarkets, then of course, the value of their money has gone down, so they need more. So the pressure is on the employers. When the employers are pressured, then they have to take action as well because they are feeling the squeeze. So if they give employees more in form of wages, then they have to look at different ways of actually saving money. So what do they do? That results in what is known as, closure of some branches. As a matter of fact, some banks have moved to close some branches as well. The latest supermarket that I've heard that is actually laying off staff is actually Asda. So that is the ripple effect. So the supermarkets, in an effort, or not just supermarkets, business places as well, if they are forced to increase, then of course the easiest way for them to look to save money is in the form of salaries. So what will that mean? It will mean that, okay, like I've said, it will mean that some people will be laid off. It will mean that, of course, some people, their job roles will increase. So whereas you used to have like sales, one sales department, a marketing department, you might find that they have to come together and just call that department sales and marketing. Of course, there's also transfer of labor. So because they had to reduce, and these are just examples, because you have to reduce the number of people in the sales department, then of course you have to move people from the marketing department to either do both job roles or move totally into a different department. So what that is known as restructuring. So when the business places, when the employment places have to actually, rethink how they provide services, that is known as restructuring. And nothing is wrong with that. So indirectly, the war between Ukraine and Russia has had all those ripple effects that you see happening. You also know that the world, I would say that it's global recession is going on. That is not saying that the war is totally responsible, as I've explained, like the ripple effect of the war, but that is saying that it contributes to it. So in economics, this is what is known as the ripple effect. I hope that you have learned something. Continue to enjoy the rest of your day. And of course, every now and then I will come up with these little business nuggets so that we can all learn from each other, learn what is going on. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Bye.